As far as great shoot-'em-ups on the Game Boy go, you needn't look far. Nemesis is a part of the long-standing excellence of the Gradius games of the arcade and the NES. This time we pilot the Proteus 911 on an intergalactic deathmatch against an alien force, and much like a great 80s action flick, the story takes a backseat to the action. Like its bigger brothers, Nemesis uses the tried-and-true Powerup Meter system first introduced by Gradius back in 1985. By defeating certain enemies, they leave capsules that can be saved or spent by pushing the alternate button. Each time a capsule is taken, the meter increases. Spending them will give you whatever power-up you're currently on. Upgrading your ship's capabilities step by step is just plain fun, and when you're fully loaded, you feel like such a badass. To take on this alien scum, you're going to need some heavy armament such as speed upgrades, missiles that can be upgraded twice, a double shot, lasers, options that fire with you, and a force field. Not only that, but sometimes enemies will drop screen-clearing bombs to help us out. One of the things that I love about this game is the customization. From the options menu, you have access to a few different things. You can choose which level you want to start at, your difficulty, how many lives you want, and yes, you can have up to 99 lives from the get-go, auto-fire, and the ability to change your buttons. Now how's that for a customizable experience on a handheld shoot-'em-up? The graphics are not too bad for an early title in the handheld, but nothing really that'll blow your mind. Your ship, for instance, the Proteus 911, isn't the coolest looking thing, and it looks pretty small compared to the cannon fodder you blast away. By now, you all know how much I love big bosses, and I cannot lie. Nemesis has them in spades here, from the outright weird to the fan favorite Super Big Core to my personal favorite, Stage 2's Crowler. They all look great. Konami's shooters are also known for their great sound, and the Game Boy experience isn't too bad. Although most of the tracks are more laid back or downright brooding, they get the job done. If I would have to pick just one standout track, it would be the final level. That one gets me pumped up every time. The gameplay and the replayability are the shining stars here. Konami had that Midas touch back in the day to make their gamers come back for more. This one is no exception. The Powerup Meter is what keeps me coming back, as I love to customize my ship piece by piece. Not only that, but the game has a great difficulty curve. Even towards the end, you feel like if you messed up, it was your own fault and not the game being too hardcore. While there are some areas with instant death scenarios, if you're fully powered up, you only have yourself to blame. Much like the arcade and the NES, we start off in space and quickly move into the Carnage Canyons. We'll be greeted by rank-and-file robots and base hatches that spew out cannon fodder. The mid-level boss is a survival scenario, as we must withstand a barrage of hellfire coming out of the twin volcanoes. Now the first game's boss appears, the classic Super Big Core Destroyer. Now this guy is pretty super easy to beat, just dodge his fire and shoot the core. Moving on into the innards of some interstellar being, we're greeted by more enemy spacecraft and antibodies that want to expel us post-haste. What's cool about this stage is how it shifts us downwards in its tight passages. Destroying the top enemy hatch and flying into it will reveal a bonus stage. Yes, this game has bonus stages hidden throughout the game. Past the gauntlet of disappearing enemies brings forth the gigantic Crowler. Stage 2's boss is sick and twisted as hell, and it comes at us with a ramming attack while shooting out lasers that block our shots. There's one thing that we can count on in a Gradius game, it's the Easter Island heads. The level is mostly Moais puking out death rings, so do take care and avoid that fire at all costs. Losing a life here may be catastrophic. Line up your shots with a double shot power-up and missile fire to take care of the more trickier placed Moais. A bouncing attack ship known as a Zag appears. It's split into 4, but we'll meet in the middle to reform and continue its bouncing assault. Getting past it, we're greeted by the ominous Striker. This gargantuan warship is fully loaded with spread fire cannons and charge attacks. Blasting away at its upper weak point will send it packing. A plethora of prehistoric perils awaits us in Stage 4. The inhabitants have been cleared out by our alien friends and the land ravaged by indestructible meteors. Be careful here, as androids are buried deep in the dirt and spring out to attack us when we get near. Dinosaur heads attack us in close quarter passages deeper in the level. The mid-bosses are jumping constructs that will attack us both above and below. Not really sure what the Stage 4 boss exactly is or what it's supposed to be. A tower? A base? Either way, its name is Reckless, and it can be a pretty tough fight if you don't have options or missiles. Blasting away the weak point just below the top will move us on to the final level. The alien force is hell-bent on keeping you away from its mother computer. Robots, cannons, and spacecraft will constantly stream out from above, below, and behind you to end your game. The navigating will be incredibly tight here. There's little room for error now, so do your best to avoid the blocks that come out from these small corridors. If you're good enough and lucky, you'll face off with the ultimate evil, the mother computer. To be honest, not all that hard to beat up, really. Like most Gradius games, I think the final entry to get to the last boss is tougher than the final fight itself. Blasting away yet another universal threat, we're greeted with a short ending screen. Nemesis is one of the top 3 shoot-'em-ups on the handheld in my opinion. While it is a short game with only 5 stages, and the ship sprite itself isn't anything to write home about. With nice backgrounds and interesting stages, big bosses, good music and sound effects, bonus stages, a full options menu, and a wonderful power-up mechanic, you'd be hard-pressed to find a better game. This is a must-have in any Game Boy collector's library, let alone shoot-'em-up fans. Next time on the Game Boy Review. Is it Ninja Gaiden or Shadow of the Ninja?